What is going on, guys? Carter here with Edge Mindset. Got another video for you. We're taking a look at a knife that came from a long ways away. This is coming from Poland. This is the first time that I've ever ordered anything from Poland. You might know what is in here. It's a very popular maker. I believe he only sells through PolishKnives.com, PolishCustomKnives.com, my mistake. But this is the first time I have ever handled one of these, and it's not my typical style of knife, so I'm very curious what I think about it. Came across it due to Jared over at Knives Knives. He showed one, and I'd seen him, right? Like, I've seen the maker, and I've seen these knives, and it registered as having seen it, but I've just never really looked at them. What do we got here? Oh, here we go. Herman Knives. Like I said, this is kind of the opposite of the typical, wow. Whoa, that is cool. Check this out. Certificate of Authenticity metal card. This is number 529. This is an Ishtar, which is one of his larger models. I don't know a ton about this maker, so please excuse anything that I get wrong. Basic information, M390, 62 HRC, nice and hard. What a beautiful display box. I don't buy a lot of knives that come in really nice boxes. Custom foam top right here with the actual model, the Ishtar right there. We've got the Herman Knives little hank here. That's pretty cool. It's kind of like the parental advisory type thing. I don't know if that's on purpose or if it just kind of looks like that. Interesting. Ooh, there she is. What do we have? What is this? It's a Torx bit driver. Is this titanium? I think it's steel. It feels too heavy to be titanium. That is a very big tool for a single bit driver for the pivot there. But cool, nonetheless. And we've got some lube. A big bottle of lube. I got to smell it. Need to do the smell test. I got nothing. It does not smell nearly as good and delicious as my KPL. This stuff, man, I want to eat it. I want to put it in my mouth. Ooh, scratch that. Let's edit that out. Let's take a look at this beautiful knife. Now, this texture is insane. So from this distance, it almost looks like it's got like a, I don't know, almost like a lizard skin or frog skin type thing going on, how it's textured like that. But when you look up close, you see it's actually hammered and then anodized. Oh, there's that sound. I don't know if it's coming through on the camera. That is a very, very cool. Oh, that is such a cool sound. Man, this thing flips like a dream. Nice solid lockup. Let's take a look at this blade here. M390. It's got a cool, like, textured, almost like an orange peel type thing. I think it's just listed as stonewash, but it doesn't look like stonewash that I'm used to seeing. Then you got that deep etch Herman right there. Custom pivot, I believe. Beautiful anodized scales. Look at the details, even on this lock bar right there. See how it's scalloped and has a little recess in it? Tons of beautiful details. Carbonized lock face. Ooh, look at that pocket clip. Deep texture on the pocket clip, anodized a little bit different shade. And then this recess that's in there is pretty interesting. Good retention. I've never quite seen anything like that. So I'm curious to see how that plays out. Same thing on the backspacer here. He does this signature like dovetail thing. I've seen that on a lot of his stuff. So this is a, I guess you would say, ooh, that sound is so good. This thing feels so good. He's a custom maker out of Poland, and he's been at it for a long time. I've only heard good things about his knives. Like, I don't know. Everybody really seems to like them. I don't think I've heard anybody say anything disparaging about it. There's how thick that blade stock is. Pretty thick. Let's do a weight check. 4.4 ounces, nice and light. What a beautiful, elegant looking knife. And I know what you're thinking, Carter, this is not the kind of knife you get. You don't like flippers, you don't like elegant, and you are 100% correct. I just could not pass up on this Beautiful, like, blurple color going on here with this awesome texture. It does look different in person than it did in the pictures, which is interesting. Man, I gotta say, oh, look at this. Look how that pivot's polished on the back there. How cool. And then we got the number, I think, back here. Probably says, what is that? Oh, yeah, right there. There is the number, what was it, 529, something like that? Yeah, 529. Lock face, stop pin, that's all pretty normal. I believe it's skeletonized. Yep, skeletonized in there. The ergonomics on this thing are fantastic. But I'll tell you what, the reason, okay, two things. This is why I had to pick one of these up. Like I said, Jared did an Instagram video, and he was showing off the sound. And I'm a sound whore. One of the reasons I like Medfords is I like the sound that they make, the clunky, tingy, resonating sound that Medfords make. It's also why I like Something Obscene Company, the J-Capes that make the ting sound, the ring sound. But then when I heard the sound these make, I was like, hold up, I've got to check this out. I've got to check these out. So that's when I hopped over to the site. You know, got to check out the prices, got to check out availability. The prices were better than I expected. I mean, these are not cheap by any means, but you get what you pay for. Better than I expected, but they had some in stock, and they had this killer piece in stock. And so I was like, oh my gosh, I got to do it. Look at these screws. So they come in through the back, they go all the way through, and then they're rounded. I've seen these before, right? You see these on a lot of custom makers that do really clean, kind of fancy type finishes, and this is no exception. Looks absolutely beautiful. We got that on the inside here. So this has an inset liner. What's interesting though is typically you would see an inset liner like this in steel because you're not really adding a lot of weight, right? Because it's just a liner. And then you've got the piece that comes down here, but this one's titanium. So he's really wanting just to save any and all weight, I guess, as well as probably be able to anodize it a matching type color. Just look at the detail. Very cool. Very cool. So buttery smooth. I believe he makes custom pivots. It just seems... His stuff is just bonkers. Like if you look up his information, like his attention to detail, do you know how many times I go to look at knife makers and they hardly bother to list the blade steel, let alone the HRC and all the details, what bearings they're using, what type of bearings they're using, are they sourced, did they make them, are they ceramic, are they steel, do they carbonize the lock face, like, you know, some of the details on how things work and how they're put together, and Herman here, and pardon me for not having his full name, but he lists all of that information on his site, on these listings, like all the details, all the knife nerd details that you usually have to hunt down or reach out to the maker directly and say, how do you do this? Do you use ceramic detent balls, blah, blah, blah. He lists all that plain as day on his site. Let me see if I can get... Oh, this is pretty cool. All the knives used, completely natural phenomenon, treated color in the linings can be observed. Oh, completely anodized. So this is just kind of talking about the nature of anodized titanium, how it can change, as well as some information on the new bearing washers. It's basically saying don't over tighten the bearings because we don't want the balls to crack. So kind of a caring how-to maintenance thing. I'm trying to see if I can find his full name. I would, maybe it was on the... Was it on here and I just didn't see it? No, just signed Herman. I wouldn't be able to pronounce his full name anyways. It's Polish, but I still wanted to find it for you. This is cool. This is cool. I think this is probably metal. Beautiful, like awesome details. What a beautiful knife. What do you guys think of this thing? Different, right? I'm not a big flipper guy and I'm not a big kind of clean... fancy guy. I never really got into Shirogorovs. I've had a few, right? I've experienced them. I've purchased them years and years ago, but it's just never been my jam. But I just had to get one of these. if anything, just for the sound. All right, guys, what do you think of this beauty? Comment down below. Would you ever pick one of these up? And also comment, were you aware of this maker? Were you aware of them? Because if not, you should check them out. All right, guys, catch you later. I'm out.